an email to contact@balimail.com or call 855-BALI-92, 855-265-5992.
The following program is brought to you by Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah.
To buy or sell a property and for all your real estate needs, contact Tech Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, your friendly real estate guide. Nagaraj Annaiah, the one-stop shop for all real estate needs. Call 408-805-4653 or log on to nagarajhomes.com.
Tension sure though. Hello Bay Area. Happy Friday. I'm your own host, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah. Today I'm flying solo. If you have any questions on the Bay Area real estate, do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92, 877 Bali 92 or 877 265 5992, 877 265 5992. This show was like basically it started 3 years back on conception of like building your wealth, building a generational wealth through a real estate, because real estate is the only vehicle or only entity which can helps to grow your all your wealth. Like it's a generational wealth, of course, because generational wealth, I keep on repeating this, is not only for you. Over the rich, if you can see around, they're not done by one generation, it's by generations to generation. That's what is like you pass on to your kid or somebody else, so that way they can build on to the top of the wealth. That's how the wealths are built always. But before talking today about that, I think today we need to talk about government shutdown. What's happening in the government shutdown, right? Rather than the usual schedule first week of the month packed with major economic data, the government shutdown left the investors mostly in the dark, because as several key reports were not at all released this time. The latest economic data collected by private companies caused a little reaction. As a result, good news is mortgage rates ended the week down slightly, just slightly near the lowest levels of the year. In the past, government shutdowns have had a little lasting impact on mortgage markets. That said, the longer the shutdown, the greater its effects will be. Right now, not much showing in, only slightly just moving on around. But in the short run, the most noticeable aspects is the delay in the release of economic reports from government agencies, including key labor market and the inflation indicators. And one more addition is the collection of a government data has stopped, meaning what does it mean? That economists may have some doubts about the accuracy of the reports for October whenever they do come out. One more worth noting, private companies are the source of a reasonable amount of labor market data, but they can provide a little information about inflation. Longer term, investors primarily will be watching to see if there is a permanent reduction in a government jobs, which could lead to a less consumer spending and a slower economic growth. Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah. Today we are live on a Bali 92.3. If any questions on the Bay Area real estate, mortgage, or anything else, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92. We are talking about the government shutdown and how it can impact your mortgage rates and other stuffs. One more thing is like two significant economic reports released this week by the Institute of Supply Management revealed mixed results. The ISM, the Institute of Supply Management National Services Sector Index, unexpectedly fell to 50, the lowest level since May, and the National Manufacturing Index is increased to 49.1. Readings above this 50 indicate normal an expansion in sectors, and below 50 a contraction. So looking ahead, investors will be continue to watch for additional information about tariffs and monitor comments from Fed officials for hints about a monetary policy later in the year. So it's going to be challenging right now, like especially since we are not seeing much changes in. So the key government, what's going to happen is the key government reports, including jobs and inflation data, were delayed. So private surveys fill the gap, but not much reactions. All the reactions was muted. And as I said, the mortgage rates ended the week near the lowest, as I was telling you, lowest levels of the year. Shutdowns normally don't disrupt mortgage rates long term, but extended delays could impact a confidence, accuracy of October's data, and even a long term hiring trends. And one more thing to look out for a labor market data, right? ADP employment data, 32,000 job loss in September. August was revised from a 54,000 gain to a 3,000 job loss. So, but this is going to have a little impact on the Bay Area real estate, but because it's just started the shutdown wise, but this is going to have a little impact. I need to see how it is. Basically, if it's shut down, it is more going to impact the government stuffs, but not going to impact real estate. Need to see in another couple of months. If it extends for longer time, then we might see the differences. But right now, not much on the Bay Area real estate. Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah. Today we are live on a Bali 92.3. Any questions on the Bay Area real estate, mortgage? Do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92, 877 265 5992. One more important thing to talk about is like basically Bay Area Real Estate Connect. This time, yes, the Bay Area Real Estate Connect is happening on December 10th, 13th, December 13th in association with the ICC Milpitas, in association with the ICC Milpitas. This is a fourth year in a row. You guys don't believe it. It's a fourth year in a row. Last 3 years was sold out event. If you would like to know how the real estate can help you to make a difference on all your savings, or like how to build onto your wealth, then do plan to attend this event. This event is from morning 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. It's a short 4.5 hours of window. So 4.5 years where the experts, like especially I think I keep on telling the real estate is always is connected between so many dots. Like basically it's connected to taxes, it's connected to immigration, it's connected to financial also, and all others also. Like it's all are connected because each one makes a differences. For example, if you buy, a lot of people ask me, Nagaraj, I want to buy a real estate for a 1.3 million for an investment purpose. I do get a calls a lot of times for a 1.2, 1.3. Can I get in a, especially in a San Jose single family homes? Yeah, we do get a single family homes. Do we get a nice looking homes? That's the challenging right now because we don't get a nice looking homes because especially in a good areas also. But if you're spending that 1.3 also, your monthly payments right now roughly around with a 5.3, 5.25% interest rate also, right? Your monthly payment, if you're, that is also qualifying for a primary residence. But if you're buying as a secondary homes or a investment purposes, your rates are a little bit higher. How do you make this like profitable? Let me give you an example. How do you make this profitable? Because your rents, as I was looking around, rents are not much because currently rents also doesn't fetch you good money. Because I was looking around, there's a almost the rents also falling down, right? Like how do you make it? Especially if you look around Bay Area, former pandemic era migration hotspots in the Bay Area, such as Sacramento and outdoor suburban areas, right, are now experiencing a significant rental declines, with the demand cooling and more supply entering the market. Rents are also slipping in the areas that once saw a rapid price surges during a 2020 or 2022 housing boom, especially during COVID times. Sacramento, Folsom, these areas were a boom. Even the Lathrop, Manteca, all these areas were a boom, but now we are seeing a decline in the rent. A lot of people gone and invested in there, and I would like to talk about one scenario when we're talking about this. One of them had bought in a Sacramento. They bought a investment property during this time, and when they gave it for a rental property, they didn't do a proper background checks, and it was given it uh, uh, all the salary slips, all the jobs related were fake. Uh, they ended up giving to a rental, and later, after a couple of months, they stopped paying the rents. So all these issues started in. That's why when you're giving for a rental, also we should do a proper, thorough background checks. Always include a professionals who can help you out so that they can make a difference. So always the rentals are always a kind of an needs to especially be, doing selecting a tenants. You need to do proper verifications on their income, salary, so that way they're paying a proper rent, because a lot of people would have invested and bought in the investment properties like in these areas, and if they stop paying the rent, it's going to impact them. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and continue on this Bay Area real estate discussion. Don't go anywhere else.
You've got a job, but no house. Savings, but no equity. A family, but no backyard. Even your favorite Zillow listing, but no approval. Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, your trusted Bay Area real estate expert, will help you. Whether you're a first-time buyer, investor, or you're on a visa. From buying and selling to mortgage solutions, Nagaraj Annaiah has you covered. Call 858-880-4577. That's 858-880-4577.
If you are selling your Bay Area home, maximize your profit and minimize your stress with Nagaraj Annaiah, a mortgage and real estate expert. Nagaraj Annaiah understands the unique challenges Bay Area sellers face. He'll expertly price your home, market it to the right buyers, and negotiate the best possible deal. For a free consultation, call Nagaraj Annaiah today at 858-880-4577 or visit nagarajhomes.com.
Hello, listeners. Welcome back to the show. Myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah. Today, I'm live on a Bali 92.3. If you have any questions on the Bay Area real estate, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92, 877 Bali 92. I'm talking about most of the rents are falling in most of the Sacramento areas and other areas, and how is going to impact if somebody has bought. That is why, like when you're buying an investment properties also, what is the purpose you're buying in investment properties, right? Like, are you going to buy with a 20% down? Are you going to do and relying on only on the rental properties, or are you going to only do like basically dependent on the rental revenue, or do you have plans to do a depreciation? Especially, I keep talking about you should talk to the tax experts, especially the cost segregation, right? Like the cost segregation is a key vital when you're doing in a depreciation, when you're doing in a rental properties, because the depreciation, how it works is like normally for the investment properties works for a 27 years for a residential purposes, and if it's in a commercial properties are like 37 years. The beauty of this cost segregation study is like, instead of waiting for 27 years or a 37 years for the commercial, you can do it in a 1 or 2 years. So in that way, the beauty is like, for example, if you're getting a you can write off major of your down payment. Again, this needs to be done by professional tax consultations. Do talk to them, because uh, identifying that rental properties or investment properties every 2 years, if you can, or 3 years, you can start building on that plan for it. Maybe in 10 years you can have 3 homes, or maybe in 15 years you can have 4 homes. Like, you need to plan very well. Like, only if, because right now the higher interest rates, it doesn't makes being even with a 5.3%, right? Like you're, or a 6%, right? If it's an investment, that's why you need to figure out it should be a secondary home or an investment properties. And again, very important to look for, are you going to do a multiplexes? Because multiplexes might be a game changer nowadays, especially if you go and look around. Any investors who's like holding on to multiplexes, they hold for a 10 to 15 years, 10 to 15 years, because always single family homes, you are waiting on just appreciation. Multiplexes gives you that cushion. For example, no need to wait for a 3,000 or 4,000 on top of it. If you have a duplexes, triplexes, fourplex, or right now I have a couple of closings. One in Santa Clara is closing for eight units. This is right now pending for a 2.75 million. It was listed for close to 2.9. We were able to reduce to 150K, get it for a good price. You don't believe it, for a good price, and the rents are close to a 16,000. If you're even doing in a 1 million down, if you're doing even for a 1 million, because normally for the commercial properties or the multiplexes, more than 4 units normally are considered need a more than 20% down. In this case, if you're doing more than $1 million down also, you can do a cost segregation every year. Maybe you can consider every year you can do a two units cost segregation, try to reduce in overall your income also. And then basically once you reduce in your income, you can still, because this commercial property in Santa Clara, right? You don't believe it is getting a $16,000 rent, which makes a quite a difference. Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, I'm talking about all the Bay Area real estate investment. Always we talk about the real estate. How does it makes a game changer for you? If you have any questions, do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92. And I was talking about the multiplexes. How can be one game changers when you're doing an investments purpose? This eightplex was like is a 16,000 rent. If you're getting it for a right now for commercial properties, rents or interest rates are 6.125%, 6.125%. In their monthly payments are close to 10,000. You still make around 3 to 4,000, but on top of it, depreciations, that's a game changer, I'm telling you. And that's where you need to talk to the tax experts and see how can they help you out on that. I help you out on identifying the right properties so that it can be better for your investments around. So coming back to this multiplexes, if you see this, all these big investors, they hold on to multiplexes for 10 to 15 years, 20 years, do a depreciations, then basically mood switch, do a 1031 exchange. Uh, Game changer would be with 1031 exchange. And I have one more closing. This is close to 24 units. 24 units in right now we are negotiating a price on this. This is close to Santa Clara. This is Cupertino and San Jose border, 95129 zip code. You don't believe it. This house, this 24 unit was listed for a six, no, it's close to 7 million, close to 7 million in the market for almost a 3 to 4, or almost close to 4 5 months, I believe, close to 4 5 months. And it's almost a 1.5 million price is reduced right now. We did send a counters for a 5.25 million, but still the seller wants a 5.5, but still 5.5, if you're getting it for 5.5, also the rents in this combined 24 units, it comes down to 40 to 44,000 around. Okay, 44,000 is a good income if you can plan it properly. But only thing is a multiplexes, sir. You need to have a 30%. They look at your operating expenses. Operating expenses are the very important, especially if you don't have, if your operating expenses are higher, then you might need more than a 30% down. But good thing is, I have very good lenders who can basically look for your income assets or income also and assets based not only on the property, based on your assets also, they can basically try to reduce your down payment. This one, uh, Santa Clara one, which I was telling you, referring you, was like basically they did the operating expenses was high. A lot of lenders was asking more than a 50% down, but since their income were higher, we were able to do it just at 30% down. So which is really a good thing, right? So that is why look around. Uh, when you're trying to do a 1 million investment, you need to think twice, just think twice, because what are you trying to achieve? Are you going to achieve 750, 800K, go by some this kind of areas where you will basically stuck with the rents are not coming in because next 2 years, because offices are opened up, the boom is happening again back to a South Bay or back to the where the offices in around. I think it would be slow down. I was talking to a few of them already. Mountain House, Tracy, Lathrop. You can look around 20% price drops. 20,000, 20% price drops, and almost the you can look around also, like rentals also has been dropped. That's what I was telling you. Also rentals also has been dropped. So that's why if you're buying in a South Bay, if it's 1 million, it's tough to buy anything a single family homes. Then you need to look for a condos. Maybe I think since I was talking about close to $1 million, there are a couple of houses listed in close to San Jose. One is very good. This is listed for a 750K, listed for a no close to 780K. Two bed, one bath, 4,000 square footage. House is roughly around 1,000 square footage. House is roughly around 1,000 square footage. This is a good for an investment purposes, because if you're doing a 20% down, roughly your monthly payments are $3,000, 2,000, roughly around I'm talking about. Then your rentals from this one is 3,200 or 3,400, depending on um, how is the rental things. But if you get, still you can make it profitable. There are two houses next to next. One is around 790, but we are able, if we can negotiate to a 750, it would be a great, because it has some foundation issues and termite issues. But if you can find a right expert and he is able to check what is the root cause on it, we can negotiate on this. These two houses, especially if somebody was looking for under 800K, this might be a good fit. Do give me a call. I can talk about these two properties, especially for under a 800K. But it is not a, don't think it as a perfect newer house. Okay. It's not possible always in the Bay Area. Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, we are talking all about the Bay Area real estate. If you have any questions on this, all these investment options, do give me a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92, 877 Bolly 92. We have a few more minutes left. But in this, I was talking about this 800 under 800K. These are still a single family home. The good thing about this single family homes I was talking about as a small detached garage. The beauty of this detached garage is like if you can work with the city properly and change it to an ADU, ADU is one more revenue for you. Okay, don't always, I keep telling you, don't think about investment should be perfect fit, or everything should be tick tick tick. No, that's not at all possible, not at all possible in the investment options. Let me give you one example. This client helped him to buy for eight, I think 880K, and this house was in San Jose, close to 8,000 square footage, 8,000 square footage. This one had a detached garage and already has a primary residence, means already had a single family home inside, detached garage. This guy planned it so well, he can fetch around close to $7,000 rent. I was like, dude, how is it possible to do a $7,000 rent, right? He planned it very well. He bought it for 880K, and he planned it very well and able to get it for close to $7,000. So that is why, because a lot of investors come to me, like they ask me like, Nagaraj, I need a perfect house. No, it's not at all possible for the investment opportunities. Okay, investments, you need to be making some brave decisions, right? Like if you're making uh, a newer construction, that kind of decisions, then you end up like going too far, and which you don't have a control, then you need to rely more on the property managers and others. But when it is something closer to your area, it is or like where you stay, it's easy to control. I think next time I'll talk about, a lot of people end up buying in outer California, thinking that it's a, I know it's only few homes, few areas out of states have grown up, but most of them have reduced also, because a lot of times during the COVID, a lot of people went in Texas and invested. Now we see that how the prices have dropped also, correct? So, but coming back to the Real Estate Connect listeners, if you want to know more about what I'm talking about and everything, right, do attend a Bay Area Real Estate Connect happening on December 13th. December 13th, it's happening in association with an ICC Milpitas this time, it's happening from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. All the experts, including me, there would be a finance expert, there would be a tax expert, there would be an immigration expert. All these experts will be there. They'll be having in a booth. They'll talk about some subjects also, like basically present, and basically you can ask them any questions on it. Like this is the way, especially in this kind of attending this event, right? You build on to your knowledge. When you build on to your knowledge, you can make a smarter decisions, right? That is where this show is all about. Our show, especially our show is like, my show is all about giving you a right path and giving you a right education. That is what this show was built around, like basically giving you right information so that when the need comes in, you can make a smarter decisions, smarter wealth. Smarter wealth means it's generational wealth. That's how it is all about, because investments are not easy. Because anytime when you invest, you self-doubt yourself, is it okay or not okay? Even for buying a primary residences, right? I've seen a lot of homeowners took 15 years, 20 years but I helped them out because they came to me with the right strategy. We were able to help them out. So thank you so much for listening in. Have a wonderful evening out there. Thank you.
We are with you wherever you